In this video, we're going to look at a homogeneous second order differential equations, namely the rules regarding these. So we look at the first case when we have roots that are real and different. So we're going to solve this differential equation. So we're going to solve the auxiliary equation first. So we get m squared plus 5m plus 6 equals to 0. And we can tell that we get m plus 3, m plus 2 equals 0, and therefore our roots are real and different, meaning we get m equals minus 3 or m equals minus 2. So it's in the form of the first case. We write it as y equals, we write constant a, e to the minus 3x plus b times e to the minus 2x. Here's a question for you to try. You can pause the video, and when you're done, I will go through my work solution. Okay, welcome back. So we have m squared minus 8m plus 12 equals 0, and we can say that's m minus 6. m minus 2 equals 0, so our solutions are m equals 6 or m equals 2, i.e. the roots are real and different. So therefore the solution is y equals to a times e to the 6x plus b times e to the 2x. Okay, the next case. So the second case is when the roots are real but they're equal. So let's have an example of that. So we've got m squared plus 8m plus 16 is equal to 0. So we get m plus 4, m plus 4 equals 0. But this time we get a repeated root, m equals minus 4 or m equals minus 4. So when you have a situation like that, then it will take this form. So we say y equals to e to the root is minus 4x, so e to the power minus 4x times a plus b x is our solution. Here's a question for you to try. You can pause the video, and when you're done, I will go through my work solution. Okay, welcome back. So we're going to do m squared minus 18m plus 81 equals 0. So then we solve our quadratic. So we get m minus 9 m minus 9 equals 0, so we get repeated roots, m equals 9 or m equals 9. So it takes this form, y equals e to the 9x times a plus bx. Here's the third type. So now we're going to solve this auxiliary equation. But this time we're going to get some complex roots. So we get m equals 6 plus or minus square root of minus 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 34 all over 2 times 1. So I get 6 plus or minus 36 minus, so now we're going to get the square root of 36 minus 136 all over 2, and that will simplify to give me m is 6 plus or minus the square root of minus 100 over 2. Now we know we get m is 6 plus or minus, well, the square root of minus 100 is simply 10i, over 2, so we get 3 plus or minus 5i. So our solutions are complex. So this is what A is, and this is what B is. So if we go to our table, we now have our solution in this form. So we're going to write it as y equals e to the ax, which is 3x, times a times cos 5x, because that's b, plus b times sine 5x, and that will be our solution. Here's a question for you to try. You can pause the video, and when you're done, I will go through my work solution. So, welcome back. So we've got m squared minus 4m plus 5 equals to 0. So solving the quadratic there, we get m equals 4 plus or minus the square root minus 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5 all over 2 times 1. So I get 4 plus or minus 16 minus 20 all over 2. So we get m equals 4 plus or minus, well, minus 4 square rooted is simply 2i over 2. So we get the following 2 plus or minus I. So our solution will be y equals e to the real part, which is 2x. Through the clarity here. So y equals e to the 2x times, there's a 1 here, so I'll write that 1 in. So it's a cos 1x plus b sine 1x is our solution. Here's the final type that's similar to the last case. So let's do an example. So m squared plus 16 equals to 0. So we can say m squared is equal to minus 16. M is plus or minus the square root of minus 16, which we know is plus or minus 4i. So in other words, we could write that as m is 0. There's no real part, plus or minus 4i. So what we end up with is, if we were to write it in our form, it would be e to the 0 times a times cos 4x plus b sine 4x. So essentially what we end up with is y equals a cos 4x, because e to the power of 0 is 1, plus b sine 4x is our solution. Here's a question for you to try. When you're done, you can pause the video and I'll go through my work solution. Okay, welcome back. So we got m squared plus 25 equals 0. So m squared is minus 25. So we can say m is plus or minus the square root of minus 25, which is the same thing as m is plus or minus 5i. So we can say that our general solution is y is a cos 5x plus b sine 5x is our general solution.